topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert Show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from experts on such topics as legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to our experts in community association law, estate planning law, tax relief, Medicare, public insurance adjusters, neuropathy treatment, business brokers, and personal injury law, along with many other topics. Now here's your host for the last 17 years, Steve O.
Good afternoon, San Diego. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show, where we bring you the finest experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. I got a letter probably about a month ago. It said, do you ever read your letters? Well, first of all, I'm reading theirs, so I guess I do. But we've had a topic that we have had so many people ask us about in the Southern California area. And we've had no openings. It's really hard to get on this show. We finally got an opening, and I got to tell you, we are so blessed. We found one of the top longevity wellness spas in San Diego. You are going to love the show today. And we've got her for the next, I believe it's the next 3 months. Let me introduce you to our new expert, Rachel L. She's the owner of Longevity. This is the lounge, the Longevity Lounge. There's that big smile.
Hey.
Hi, Rachel. I got to tell you, I am so glad that we have the Longevity Lounge. First of all, I love the name. I mean, you can't confuse what you do. But first of all, tell us, how long have you had the business, and tell us what your spa does.
Thank you for having me, Stephen. I love talking about all of this stuff. So I founded Longevity Lounge in 2014, really as a solution for my own lifestyle. I was looking for the things that weren't really offered at the time. So what we do is we serve Southern California's detox needs. That is the lymphatic system, the circulation system, the digestive system. We also do restorative treatments, so injectables, IV nutrients, acupuncture, massage, all kinds of things. One, to optimize what your body does naturally and restore things that might be not functioning the way you want them to be.
Well, first of all, we want to thank God, we've got so many people right now watching on TikTok besides all of our other 70 platforms. But someone asked me, would you mind asking your expert, because I cannot stay long, but I wanted to catch at least part of the show. First of all, thank you so much for bringing a show like this on. Rarely do you see anti-aging shows. My question is, I heard stress can lead to many health issues. Does your spa help people to get rid of stress?
Absolutely. So that is a correct statement. And we've been hearing this from doctors and medical professionals for decades. It's just one of those things that's really kind of amorphous, and how reduce your stress. We all know we're supposed to reduce our stress, but how does one do that and also still maintain life as a human on planet Earth? So one way we help reduce stress is by reducing the toxic load on the body. So physical stressors can create and exacerbate emotional stressors and vice versa. So that's one way we can support people, is by literally removing the stress from the body, the burdens from the body. But along with that, every provider that we work with at Longevity Lounge is a holistic practitioner, and holistic as in whole. We look at the body as a whole system, including the nervous system, including your mental and emotional well-being. And so it's all part of it. So we don't treat symptoms in isolation. We support people as a whole, and we're always going to remind people to breathe, to be in a positive mindset, to be grateful, to manage the things that they can control and drop the rest. And yeah, it's a small thing, but every small thing adds up. So yeah, we definitely can support stress relief.
Rachel, hormones play a big role in this too, right?
Oh my goodness, huge. Absolutely, for better and for worse. So at a certain point, that's the number one thing we look at, and we direct people to providers to get their labs done. Because if your hormones are off even a little bit, you're going to feel it, and you might not know what you're feeling, but you're going to feel something.
You know, there's so many people who are sending their question ins, and since there's so many of them are the same, I'm going to ask this one question. I've got so many questions for you.
Great.
What can you explain hormone replacement? Everybody keeps saying they keep hearing hormone replacement, but no one really knows what it means unless you've gone through it.
Yeah, so exogenous hormones, this is something that's managed by a licensed practitioner. What they're going to do is they're going to do an extensive intake process on your age, your health background. They're going to run some labs. They're going to ask you what your symptoms are, and help you understand if you're in the normal range, or if you are below normal, what you need to do to be optimal. And then they're going to most likely have something compounded, a synthetic, most times synthetic hormones compounded, and start you nice and slowly, and just kind of monitor. It's always customizable. There's definitely not a one size fits all situation here. It's hopefully it's a collaborative experience. So if you do have questions about your hormones, I love it when people go to AI. Go put your symptoms in, put your age in, and start there. Educate yourself there. There is unlimited information on the internet, and distill that down into some questions to ask your provider, and that's going to help them to really understand where you're at individually and to support you to bring your hormones back into balance.
Rachel, we're getting a lot of people wanting to know, are you open on the weekends?
Yeah, we're open 7 days a week.
And they want to know, do you offer any type of classes?
You know what? We don't yet. Each treatment is like a one-on-one class, but it is our goal to make that more efficient and to put more content online. It's part of why I said yes to doing this show, because we can serve more people this way. So maybe just stay tuned.
That's wonderful. A lot of people also want to know, do you offer teachings on meditation?
We don't officially offer teachings on meditation, but there's so many out there. There's free ones, there's courses you can pay for. So many of our colleagues incorporate meditation into their service offerings. So there's a ton of information out there if you're looking for that, and everyone should be looking for that.
Okay, you're going to get the big head on this question. This is Marcia on YouTube. Loving the show. What a great topic. I hope you will have your guest back again. Actually, she's going to be with us for the next year. I said 3 months, but listen to this. She said, if I come to your spa, will I end up looking like you? Wow. What a compliment, Rachel.
That's so sweet. Thank you. Yes, 100%. I promise.
Now, what is the common theme that most people come to you?
So real quick, I just want to say, since I founded in 2014, the people that were coming to me back then, were very different than the people that are coming today. So back
Wow.
then, no one really knew what detoxification was, or the lymphatic system, or so many of the things that we specialized in. The people that came then were people that were sick, and they were forced to do the research on what was going on with them. Had been to multiple doctors. They weren't getting the results that they wanted, and so they did a deep dive into their symptoms, and they learned about detoxification, and they found me that way. The other people that were coming back then were celebrities and models and newscasters and people that were in the public eye that needed to look great all the time. They had high stress lifestyles. They were sometimes partying on the weekends. They were traveling a lot, and they needed treatments to restore and rejuvenate them quickly so that they looked great. Now we are 12 years later. Our clientele is pretty much everyone. It's people, some who are sick and they're trying to reverse some symptoms naturally. It's people who want to optimize their lifestyle now. And it's a lot of people that want to age beautifully. They don't want, they're sort of saying no to this old paradigm of aging, where we used to feel like at a certain point you become irrelevant. At a certain point, you don't have energy. You don't have the verve for life anymore. And people are no longer buying into that, and they are taking control of their longevity, and they want to live longer, but they want to live better longer. So people come for all different reasons, but mostly it's to optimize their weight, their beauty, their vitality, their energy, and live longer in the process.
Rachel, as much as you're talking about how things have changed, I think between now and the next 10 years, it's going to even become greater, because we're seeing with our show that functional medicine, that people really are interested in that area. We have people who said, I went to my doctor and he said everything looks fine, but I knew there was something wrong. And when I went to a functional clinic, the tests they did, we found what my problem was. And I got to tell you, right now, I think anti-aging and longevity are the biggest keywords. Is there misconceptions that people have?
Yeah, I think so. And I agree with you. It's really buzzy right now. So as far as a misconception, I would say one is that aging is bad, right? So we are all going to age. I mean, hopefully, if we don't age, we're dead. So aging is good, but we now have more agency and resources around how we age. So we want to make sure that we really know what our goals are. And there are so many things that we can do to create a life around the quality of life that we want to live. So we want to live longer, but we want to live better. And what does better mean? That's pretty personal and individual. But I would say the biggest myth, to answer your question, is that aging is bad. I want people to really feel empowered and their best self, no matter what their age. So I have friends and clients that are in their 80s, and you look at them and go, there's no way you're in your 80s, because what we used to think of as 80 was old. And now it's just, we're defying the myths and the misconceptions around what aging and growing older looks like. So it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, Liza, I have my next question already ready, and someone just wrote it in. People wanting to know about anti-aging therapies, wellness trends. Anything new coming in around the corner? Because it seems like in your area, things are changing. Like every month, there's some new laser machines are coming out. What do you see new trends coming up?
I love this. It's so exciting. And you're right. Things are actually changing. I'm loving peptides. Peptides, I think, are going to change healthcare and wellness forever. I'm also loving that we can do our own testing now as individuals. You don't necessarily have to go to your doctor. If you don't have access to an integrative doctor, you can order a test online. You can have a general analysis of that test, or you can find a provider to read the results for you. So peptides are huge because it's creating access for people to manage their own wellness and their own aging, and you're able to do your own testing so that you can monitor yourself along the way. And I'm not anti-doctor. I love that we have so many integrative doctors, but you can do so much of this work on your own before you even make that appointment. And then when you get to the appointment to have your doctor help you analyze the results, you already really understand where you're at, and you can optimize your time with them. So peptides and testing, they're my favorite things that we all have access to now.
Rachel, I don't often share this. I'm looking at the numbers on TikTok, and I think we've broken all records. This is amazing.
Well,
But we've got a lot of men who are watching, and they want to know, do you treat men?
yeah, absolutely. We treat everybody.
See, when we talk hormones, we always think it's just females, but you got testosterone is a huge area.
Absolutely. Yeah, men should be getting their hormones tested as well. If they don't feel like they felt energetically, appetite wise, strength wise, mood wise, like they did in their mid 30s or when they were in their prime, it's time to get tested and see if there's some tweaking that can be done.
What about, do you use supplements at all with your patients?
Absolutely. Yes. And supplements are confusing because there are literally millions of them out there. They aren't regulated, so source is really important. But I think that is one of the reasons why people are living longer better, is
Mm.
because we now can supplement for the deficiencies in our diets, the deficiencies in the nutritional content of our food. You can also waste a lot of money on supplements, without knowing exactly what you should take, without proper testing or guidance. It can be a never-ending path down just chasing symptoms with supplements. So get some guidance on that. But supplements, in my opinion, are very helpful.
I don't know why it bothers me so much, but I'll just say a GNC. Somebody walks into a GNC and they say, I want to lose weight. They must have 100 different supplements, and they just, here, try this one. We got good response on, but you can't do it that everybody's body is different, and there's so much that you have to do, from lab work, everything, to see why this person is not losing weight. Isn't that correct?
100%. Yeah. So before you work on supplements, we like to look at nutrition first. So make sure that you're eating proper protein, that you eat the highest quality food that you have access to and that you can afford. Make sure that you're not exposing yourself to things that could be causing imbalances in your body. Avoid seed oils, avoid things that aren't serving you. Start there. And then from there, you can narrow down what you might need, whether that's a D3 with a K2 for energy, things like B vitamins, B complex, things like that aren't super expensive, that are easy to add one by one, and see how they make you feel. Because ultimately, that is the greatest indicator of whether or not something is working. Are you feeling better?
Well, I got to ask this because it's probably, since we started promoting your show a couple days ago, most people want to know about GLP-1. I call it the skinny injection, but first of all, do you work with GLP-1 in your practice?
Yes. Yeah, we work with all the GLPs and all the peptides. I think it's well, what kind of response are you getting, Steve? Like, what are people saying about it?
Well, I got to tell you, I love this. I mean, Ozempic, and I'm going to tell you
Mhm.
something. I don't know if you knew this or not, but I want to share this with people that, you know, I've had a kidney problem, very severe. And when I went on Ozempic, my doctor like cannot believe it. He said, "Your kidneys can never get better. We just got to keep them from getting worse." He
Mhm.
said, "This is the first time I've ever seen lab work get better. Never seen it before, and it's got to
Wow.
be because of the GLP-1." And I thought that was amazing.
I love that. Congratulations on that, by the way. That's huge. And that is consistent with what we're seeing with our patients as well. I think this, with everything, you need to have proper guidance and you need to really understand side effects potentially and how to prevent muscle wasting and things like that. But we are seeing so many secondary health issues just go away. Things that aren't supposed to have a cure are no longer there when people are taking their GLP medications, and they are losing weight and they're getting a little bit more energy, but they're dropping inflammation, and some autoimmune conditions that they've had for decades are just quieting down or going away
Yes.
entirely. And it's a really remarkable thing. I think it's going to go down as one of the biggest health wins that we've had in decades.
You know, I am so surprised that the insurance companies have never jumped on this before. They finally are.
Mhm.
Well, it's because the president worked out a deal starting July the 1st.
Mhm.
Uh, but weight is so important to your health. And it seems like you would want to help people make this more affordable uh, because of what it does for your health. At least they're finally starting to do something. You know, I told you the show goes by so fast. We're giving out your phone number and your website to all the people who are texting us in. Uh, Rachel will be back again with us next month. I'm going to try to get her on earlier uh, in the month because I've got so many questions from you, and I have questions. Rachel, tell people how they can reach you.
LongevityLoungeSpa.com. You can find us on all the social media channels, Longevity Lounge Spa. We're in San Diego. Just put our name, Longevity Lounge, into Google or AI, and you'll find us. And we'd love to hear from you. If you have more questions, send us an email or a DM on any of our social media channels.
And if you miss any of the show, you can go to iHeart or you can go to Spotify or YouTube, and you can get the audio version of the show or the video from YouTube. Rachel, I am so glad you are with us. I can't wait for your next show, and we will see you soon.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks, everybody.
That's Rachel Ellis. She's the owner and of Longevity Lounge. What a great name. We're going to go to a break. We're going to be doing our Dallas show coming up. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we're going to go to break now. We'll be coming back in about 3 or 4 minutes with our functional medicine show. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.